The timeless mirror. I had always been a sucker for antique shops. The smell of old wood and the whisper of forgotten stories called to me like a siren song. That's how I found myself in a dusty little store on the outskirts of town, drawn in by a sign that read, "Treasures of the Past." The shop was a labyrinth of curiosities, each item with its own history and secrets. It was here, tucked away in a dimly lit corner, that I first saw the mirror. The mirror was exquisite, its ornate frame carved with intricate designs that spoke of a bygone era. Despite its age, the glass was as clear as a pristine lake, reflecting the room with an almost ethereal glow. Something about it mesmerized me. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with a twinkle in his eye, seemed almost too eager to sell it to me. He offered it at a price far too low for such craftsmanship, but I didn't question it. I was captivated. I took the mirror home and hung it in my bedroom, admiring the way it seemed to capture the light, casting an otherworldly glow around the room. That night, I had the first of many strange dreams. I dreamt of myself, but not as I was. I was older, my face lined with worry, my eyes haunted. The next morning, the dream was still vivid in my mind. I stood in front of the mirror, half expecting to see my older reflection staring back at me. But there was only me, as I was. I laughed it off and went about my day, but a seed of unease had been planted. Over the next few days, the dreams grew more frequent, more disturbing. Each night I saw myself at different stages of my life, each version older and more despondent than the last. In one dream I was standing at a graveside, tears streaming down my face. In another, I was trapped in a small dark room, screaming for help that never came. One particularly vivid dream showed me in a hospital bed, tubes and wires attached to my frail body. The room was sterile and cold, the beeping of machines the only sound. I could feel the weight of time pressing down on me, the years slipping away. I woke with a start, drenched in sweat. The dream had been so real, so vivid. I looked at the mirror, and for a fleeting moment I saw not my reflection but the older, haunted version of myself from the dreams. I blinked, and it was gone. Just my imagination, I told myself, but doubt gnawed at me. Desperate for answers, I returned to the antique shop. The shopkeeper was gone, replaced by a younger woman who claimed to know nothing of the mirror or the man who sold it to me. I asked around, but no one in town had ever heard of Treasures of the Past. It was as if the shop had never existed. Back home, the mirror seemed to mock me. Each time I looked into it, I felt a chill run down my spine. The dreams became nightmares, each more horrific than the last. In one, I was wandering through a desolate landscape, alone and forgotten. The sky was a sickly green, the ground cracked and barren. Shadows lurked at the edges of my vision, whispering my name. I woke up screaming, the sound echoing in the silent house. I decided I couldn't take it anymore. I had to get rid of the mirror. I wrapped it in an old blanket and carried it to the attic, intending to leave it there and forget about it. But as I turned to leave, I heard a faint whisper. I froze, my heart pounding. The whisper grew louder, more insistent. It was my own voice echoing through the years. I turned back to the mirror, trembling. In its reflection, I saw myself as a child, standing with my family. My parents, my younger brother and I, all smiling happily. Tears filled my eyes as I stared at the faces of my loved ones, most of whom were now gone. The mirror wasn't showing me the future, it was showing me the past, my regrets, my lost moments. I spent the rest of the night thinking about my life, the choices I'd made, the people I'd lost. When morning came, I made a decision. I couldn't change the past, but I could change the future. I took the mirror down and placed it in the attic, where it would no longer haunt me with its reflections. Life went on, and the nightmares ceased. I focused on living in the present, cherishing each moment with the people I loved. The mirror remained in the attic, a silent reminder of the lessons I'd learned. Years later, I passed away peacefully in my sleep, surrounded by family. They found the mirror in the attic, covered in dust. My daughter, who had inherited my love for antiques, decided to hang it in her home. That night, she dreamt of herself as an old woman, smiling contentedly. She woke up the next morning, puzzled but not frightened. She saw the mirror in a new light, as a gift rather than a curse. It showed her glimpses of what could be, a reminder to live fully and without regret. As the years went by, my daughter kept the mirror, passing it down to her children. Each generation learned the same lesson, that the past, present, and future are all interconnected, and the choices we make today shape the reflections we see tomorrow. The mirror's legacy continued, reflecting not just the past or the future, but the timeless nature of our lives and the choices we make. And so, the timeless mirror remained, a silent witness to the passage of time and the enduring power of love and memory.